Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا محمد وبارك وسلم عليه. Alhamdulillah, it's a big blessing and a big pleasure to be able to gather here once again and to see all of you and to be here with all of you. It's a big blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How's everybody doing today? Are you guys ready to learn and talk about something new, inshallah? Are you all doing well? How's your Ramadan going? Have you guys been fasting? Some of you might be fasting, right? Some of you might not be, which is okay because you guys are still little. Some of you might not be able to do it yet. How about how about you guys tell me, inshallah? Have you guys started fasting? Very good, mashallah. Good job. Very good. Yeah, mashallah, very good. So yeah, so that it's okay. Like I said, that sometimes maybe we're not feeling strong enough yet, or maybe we can't do it. It's okay, inshallah. Your parents will help you whenever you can start fasting. Okay, inshallah. Very good, mashallah. I'm very proud of you guys, those of you who are, and mashallah. Even if you're not fasting, Ramadan is such a special month that you can find blessings every single place, right? Whether you're even you're reading the Quran or you're reading Salah, you're praying Taraweeh, you're um, you know, even helping out at home or reading tasbih. So many things, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us so many special ways where we can get blessings and rewards from Him, right? MashaAllah. Very good. Good job, guys. MashaAllah. So, did you guys know why Ramadan is special? Have you ever heard of the pillars of Islam? Have you guys heard of them? Yeah, very good, mashallah. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have heard of them, and even if you haven't, inshallah, that's fine. I want to talk about because Ramadan is a special month, but we should know why is it special, right? Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us that it is one of the pillars of our religion. What does a pillar mean? A pillar is something that gives the foundation or the support to hold something up, right? So when we say pillars of Islam, we say these are the five excuse me, these are the five things that have to be strong and have to exist in order to make our religion strong, right? So one of those things is Ramadan, fasting in Ramadan. You guys can see on the screen Shahada, Salah, Zakat, Saum, and Hajj, right? Those are all pillars of Islam, mashallah. So, what's special about Hajj now? Now we see Hajj, right? Do you guys know who has. First, actually, let me ask you this. Do you guys know where we go to perform the Hajj? Do you guys know where that is? The Kaaba? It's in Makkah, right? It's in Makkah. Very good, mashallah, right? That's where we go. We go to the city of Makkah. And the Kaaba is a very, very special building that we look at. It's a very special masjid, right? Where we say that this is the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? So, do you guys know who has originally built the Kaaba? You guys tell me. Which prophets have built? Very good, mashallah, very good, alhamdulillah, okay? Great job. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam and Prophet Ismail alayhi salam, who was his son, they both are the ones who were commanded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to build the original Kaaba. Did you guys know that? It's very amazing, right? Subhanallah. So, maybe some of you have been here before. If you think about it, it's so special, right? just realizing that, you are in the same place where all these amazing and special and blessed prophets have, been in and they've lived, and then of course we know that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was there, right? So mashallah, it's his city, right? So that we know that, mashallah, and you know, just being in these places, it makes you feel it's such an honor, right? So why is it such an honor? Because these prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they are, that's what we talked about last time, right? They are sent as a form of guidance for us. They are sent as a form of lessons for us to learn because they were the best of human beings, right? These prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they were so special. They had the qualities that we all should strive for. They have the qualities that we all should work hard to have. Right, guys? Inshallah. Are you guys ready to learn more about the story of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam? So we can, inshallah, try to be more like him? You guys ready? Inshallah? Very good. MashaAllah. Great job. Good job, guys. I'm very proud of you. Okay, alhamdulillah. Inshallah. So let's, inshallah, today, inshallah, we're going to be discussing the story of the great Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. MashaAllah. Some of you guys may already know things about his story, but inshallah, let's talk about him a little bit more today. Inshallah, okay? So the story of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he was born in a time where people were still continuing the act of worshipping idols. Okay, you guys remember in the story of Prophet Salih alayhi salam, we talked about idol worshipping, right? So and also in Prophet Nuh alayhi salam. So the people, they continued to worship the idols just with this thing in mind that they were doing what their forefathers have done. Okay, forefathers are people who came before them, like grandfathers or great grandfathers. People who came before them. So they're just following what they're doing, and they say that's the right thing to do. But unfortunately, that's not the case, right? That's not the case here because they were worshiping idols. And idol worshiping is wrong, right? We know that we have to only worship who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very good. MashaAllah. Good job. Yep, exactly. So we only worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ibrahim alayhi salam was a very, very clever boy, okay? And he was always asking questions. MashaAllah, he had some very special qualities about him, okay? Ibrahim alayhi salam was known as Hanif and Khalilullah. Okay, let's talk about these two words, okay? Hanif is someone who is a true believer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had blessed him with the belief in his heart even before he actually had, become a prophet, okay? Isn't that amazing? Subhanallah, because he was born with this belief in his heart. From the start, he knew that worshipping idols was wrong and associating any partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was wrong. He knew all of these because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had put it in his heart, mashallah. So it's a big blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he had this in his heart. So even from when he was born, from when he was a little boy, he knew that definitely worshipping idols or worshipping anything besides the true creator, the true Lord, Allah, was wrong, right? So he knew that in his heart, it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we have to worship. Okay? Now, what's that second word? That second word, do you guys see? Khalilullah. Khalilullah, right? So, Khalilullah, that means a friend of Allah. Very good, mashallah. Good job. I see some of you guys are writing that. Very good, mashallah. Good job. So, Khalilullah is a friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can you imagine being called the friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's, subhanallah, such an honor, right? It's such an honor. It's something somebody can just dream about, right? So this, the quality of Ibrahim alayhi salam to be called a Khalilullah, the Khalilullah, right? That's what people. That's what you can refer to him as. So this quality is very special. Being called that Allah is your friend. Why was he the one? Why was he so special that Allah chose him to be the Khalilullah? because he gave importance to Allah over everything. Okay, he did not, say that he wants to do something else besides what Allah wants, or he preferred something else over what Allah would have liked him to do. So he gave importance to what Allah wanted over everything. He followed every one of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands, no matter what they were. Inshallah, as we go on in the story, you'll see what kind of things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had commanded him to do. Things that maybe you and I would, be scared to do, or we would be, think twice about it. But as Muslims, we need to understand, we need to be like Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. We need to make our faith so strong and so, we have to have so much devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that no matter what what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to us, we need to be ready. That same second, half a second, it should not take us long to obey. Inshallah. Okay? Inshallah, guys? Ready? Inshallah, I hope we all, inshallah, keep this intention in our heart that everything we're learning about these prophets, inshallah, we make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to put these amazing qualities in our hearts as well. Inshallah. Okay, inshallah. Okay, let's go ahead, inshallah, and see. Okay, so the story of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam starts off with the first person that Ibrahim alayhi salam preached to. The first person that Ibrahim alayhi salam preached to was his father. Okay, did you guys know that? His father's name was Azar, right? So Ibrahim alayhi salam was a little boy when remember, like I said, he was Hanif, right? Do you guys remember the word Hanif? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshallah, guys, I am looking at the chat box, so don't worry about that. I see those of you who are saying my voice is cracking a little bit. Inshallah, I am trying to figure out about that. Inshallah, don't worry. Just, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is the time, okay? Inshallah, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the voice gets fixed up, okay? Don't worry, inshallah. I'm not overlooking the chat box, okay? Inshallah. So, jazakallah khair, everyone, for letting me know, though, okay? So, inshallah, let's go back. So inshallah, let's go ahead. So now let's start talking about, once again, the story, the father of Ibrahim alayhi salam. The father of Ibrahim alayhi salam was an idol maker. Okay, do you guys know what an idol maker would be? An idol maker? An idol maker is someone who makes idols. Okay, idols. Remember we were talking about the statues that people used to worship? The people used to worship the statues, right? So isn't it funny that regular people used to make these idols that other people used to worship? It's pretty funny, right? Isn't it? But this is the misguidance that these people had, right? You can't even imagine it. So Ibrahim alayhi salam's father was an idol maker. And when Ibrahim alayhi salam was a little boy, he said to his father, he tried to convince him. He said that, we should not worship these objects that people have made. He used to question what his father was doing and why he was doing it. He said, why should we worship things that can't help anyone or can't hurt anyone? They don't hear, they don't talk, they don't do anything. So his father, got very upset. After a few times of Ibrahim alayhi salam questioning him and trying to preach to him, his father got very upset, and he said that don't talk to me about this again. If you don't stop, I'm going to have to take action against you. I'm going to have to hurt you. Okay, so this Ibrahim alayhi salam tried his best, right? But at this point, he couldn't. He kind of got disheartened, right? Because his father would not believe him. So now, even though his father said this to him, does that mean that Ibrahim alayhi salam responded very harshly to him? Did he argue with him? No, right? No, not at all. how did he respond to him? Ibrahim alayhi salam made a dua for his father. He made a dua for his father. He said, I will pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for peace on you and ask for your forgiveness. What does that tell us, guys? That when, especially when we're talking about our parents, right? That we should not talk to them disrespectfully. Look at the way Ibrahim alayhi salam responded to his father. Even though his father was, responded to him in a way that maybe, was like very harsh, right? Just imagine if something like that happened with you. So even though, we are weak, right? We would have said, we would have gotten upset and stuff like that. But mashallah, Ibrahim alayhi salam was such a true believer. He had the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He had the love and respect for his parents in his heart. So he instead made dua for him. He, he prayed that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would forgive him, and he left. Okay, he left. He just didn't want to, make the situation get worse. So he left from there. Okay, that teaches us that we need to respect our parents. We should obey them only as long as they don't tell us to obey something that goes against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? That's the main thing for us to understand, that we should respect our parents always. Of course, we have to obey what they're saying. But the point is, obviously, in this situation, you can see that Ibrahim alayhi salam's father was telling him to, worship the idols, and obviously Ibrahim alayhi salam knew that's not right. So that's one important lesson that we learn right from the beginning of Ibrahim alayhi salam's story, that we should respect our parents. Okay, guys? Inshallah, can we guys do that? See, our parents would never ever say something this harsh, that the way Ibrahim alayhi salam's father said to him, right? So that's why, we can't, even if he was able to respond so nicely and lovingly, we definitely need to be able to do that, inshallah. Okay? Inshallah. Very good. Good job, guys. MashaAllah. Very good. Now, Ibrahim alayhi salam never gave up trying to preach other people. So even though his father was, against it, and he wasn't willing to listen, he still, was working hard because he had the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his heart. He wanted to make sure he, can spread the message that the faith that he has in his heart. He wanted to spread it to other people. He wanted to make people realize that what they are doing is wrong. So he kept on going. He tried to convince people to believe in and worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala without any partners. But unfortunately, no one was willing to listen. They always used to say the same thing that all the previous nations have said, that are you telling us to do something different than what our forefathers used to do? Meaning, are you saying that our forefathers were wrong? So unfortunately, this was in their hearts, and they were not willing to listen. Ibrahim alayhi salam, of course, he was trying to convince them that, he was trying to show them what the right path is and what the right thing to believe in is. So he decided that he needs to find a way to convince these people properly. So he decided to form a plot, formed a plan, a way for the people to get convinced. Okay, and I see some of you guys are writing. Good job that you're talking about what he planned. Very good, mashallah. Exactly. So inshallah, let's go ahead and talk about what kind of plan did he make. Okay, so one day there was a huge festival taking place outside of the city. Okay, so everybody was going to attend it, and everybody was going to go out to take part in that festival. Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam found a way to excuse himself from attending. So he was all alone. Okay, so he was all alone, and everybody else was gone from the city. So on this day, he sneaked into the place where all the idols were kept, and with an axe, he destroyed all of those statues, all the idols, except for the biggest one. So can you imagine that? of course, we're looking at it right now and just as a story, but you guys, main thing we need to understand is that everything he is doing here is to make people, to convince people that what they are believing in is wrong. Okay, subhanAllah. So see how clever he was. See and understand. Focus on that, inshallah. How he used to, try to convince people. The techniques he used to use. Okay, inshallah. So now he has destroyed all the statues and he has put the axe on the largest one. Okay. After the people had returned from the festival, they saw what had happened to the statues, and they were all very upset. Can you imagine? Like these were the statues that these people used to worship. Okay, and they were in shock when they saw what had happened, and they were trying to figure out who did this, who could have destroyed these statues. Someone, some of them remembered that Ibrahim alayhi salam was the one who stayed behind, and he did not go to the festival. Okay, so this was the giveaway, right? So of course Ibrahim alayhi salam didn't do it so that they couldn't figure it out, obviously, but he wanted to prove a point. What was that point? When they asked Ibrahim alayhi salam that what did you do? Did you do this? Everybody, just imagine, like the whole city was there. Okay, everybody who used to believe in these statues, who used to worship them, everybody was standing there. So Ibrahim alayhi salam told them, why are you asking, me? Why don't you ask the biggest idol? You know, if he was, because he's still there, so he must have known who did it, right? It's a way for him to make them think that why don't you ask the biggest idol that who did this? So the main thing is that he was trying to make them think that if the largest idol was there when someone came and destroyed it, the idol should be able to tell them. Okay? But these people knew that the statues couldn't speak. Right? So they knew that it was only stone. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, by doing this, he made them think about what they were doing and does it even make sense? Now, the this at this time there were some people who started to believe, to try to make they started to understand what Ibrahim alayhi salam was trying to say, and they realized that what he was saying was correct. That how can we worship something that was just made of stone, that doesn't have any life or anything? It's something that we made ourselves. It's something that can't talk, can't speak, can't even defend itself, right? If these statues were actually real powerful things that these people used to say they were, they should have been able to defend themselves. Is that correct? Right? Exactly. So this is the kind of points that Ibrahim alayhi salam was making them realize. But unfortunately, of course, people still had. There was many people who still had the negative thoughts in their mind, and Shaitan is also working hard, right? Shaitan never leaves us alone. But he, so everybody, there was, even though some people might have had that thought in their mind that, oh, Ibrahim alayhi salam is telling the truth, there were others, or many others, who still they ignored that completely. They were focused on the fact that Ibrahim alayhi salam had destroyed the statues. Okay, so now came the very difficult time. Okay, the people had become very, very angry, and they decided that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam must be punished for what he did. So it's very scary and very sad to hear what they did. Okay, so they had started to collect wood for a huge bonfire that they were going to throw Ibrahim alayhi salam into. So this was their punishment. This was the punishment, that they were going to throw him in this huge fire. It was so huge that there was no way that he could have escaped from it. He could not have been saved from it. According to what they thought, there was no way. So everyone from the city had come to see the severe punishment. It's very sad and very scary to imagine it. So at this time, looking at the situation, there was a huge fire that was, waiting for Ibrahim alayhi salam, and everybody was expecting that he was going to be thrown in there. That's what their evil plan was. These people were very, very evil for doing this, right? So at this time, Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam, okay, the angel, you guys, I'm sure you all know about him. The angel Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam came to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay, he came to him and asked, is there something you would like me to do for you to help you to save you? And Ibrahim alayhi salam asked, does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala know, what's happening? And Hazrat Jibreel alayhi salam said, yes, he does. And so then Ibrahim alayhi salam said, what did he reply? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Made a dua. Very good. MashaAllah. I see you guys are saying he made the dua. You guys have, I'm sure, heard of this. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Have you guys heard of that? MashaAllah. Very good. Alhamdulillah. This is a very important dua for us to understand. Right? Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is sufficient for us and an excellent protector He is for us. MashaAllah. Very good. So inshallah, this dua is so powerful, guys. It's so powerful. It's such a strong um, dua that we need to know, we need to understand that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam made at this time. He knew in his heart that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is all he needs. He is the only one who can save him. He's the only one who can protect him. And he is enough for him. And he doesn't need anyone else's help. Okay? Very good. MashaAllah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala heard his prayers and he commanded the fire to be coolness and safety for Ibrahim alayhi salam. And mashallah, this we have this dua, and this whole event is all of these events actually that we're learning about. We've learned of them from the Quran. So you, inshallah, when you guys read it, you guys will be able to see it there as well. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded the fire. O fire, he said, O fire, be you coolness and safety for Ibrahim alayhi salam. Subhanallah, subhanallah. It's such an amazing thing to imagine. Can you imagine fire being cool and safety? Coolness and safety? Like, we can't even imagine that, right? Because from what we know, fire, when you can't go close to it because it's going to hurt you. That's what it is. That's what those people had thought of. That's those people who had made that big bonfire. That's what they had planned as well. But they don't know how strong Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's power is. They didn't know who they're dealing with, right? They could not even expect that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would have this miracle happen. When the flames died down, the people could not believe their eyes. Ibrahim alayhi salam was alive and the flames had not harmed him at all. Okay? How had this happened? Well, it's a simple thing, right? It's a miracle of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this was a great and amazing way for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to show these people that what they are doing and what they're saying is wrong. And they need to work they need to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They need to follow the message that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given to Ibrahim alayhi salam, that they need to follow what Ibrahim alayhi salam is saying. This was, subhanallah, an amazing event that happened, and it teaches us how strong our faith has to be, right? It teaches us how strong our faith has to be in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So just think about it, that Ibrahim alayhi salam, at that time when Jibreel alayhi salam came to him, he could have asked for anything. Literally he could have asked, that please take me away from here or something, anything, right? But the faith in Ibrahim alayhi salam heart was so strong. That's the faith, guys. That's what we need to work hard for. That's what we want to work towards. That's what we want to keep our main goal. When our faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so strong, then you literally like everything is gonna be inshallah taken care of. Then when we believe in our hearts that Allah is the one who is taking care of all of our matters, Allah is the one who is taking care of us, then that makes you so strong from the inside and from the outside, of course. But it makes you so strong that you can't that any kind of weakness, any kind of feeling of being scared, it literally melts away. Okay, it goes away. And inshallah, that's what our main goal should be as good Muslims. This is an important part of what needs to be in our hearts. Inshallah, do you guys understand? So this dua, this special dua, right? Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Inshallah, let's work hard to memorize it if we don't know it already, and just try and see the power of this dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put into this. We saw that the fire became cool for Ibrahim alayhi salam with the power of the faith and the power of this dua that he made to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted it because he loved this dua so much. Right? So inshallah, we can also use these things in our lives nowadays. And if we face any kind of difficulty, what are you going to say? We're not going to panic. We're not going to get scared. We are going to say, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Very good, mashallah. Great job, guys. Very good. So, now the story of Ibrahim alayhi salam continues. Okay, after this great event, he was still working very, very hard to make sure that he can strengthen his faith and also strengthen the faith and guide the people that were around him. Okay, he saw a lot of different things. Okay, he saw these idol worshippers who he was trying to convince. He also saw another kind of people. They were worshiping something else, which was also very strange for him. They were worshiping the sun, the moon, and the stars. Okay, can you guys imagine that? So he met these people who were worshiping these things that we see in the sky, right? Ibrahim alayhi salam wanted to show them what they were worshiping is wrong. So one night, while he was looking at the sky, he saw a star come into the sky. Okay, so now remember I said he had very special ways he used to try to convince people and try to guide people. Okay, so inshallah, let's pay close attention to what technique, what type of way he used to convince the others. Okay, very mashallah, good job. I see all of you guys are paying attention. Very good, mashallah. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at it. That he saw the stars, right? And he said, okay, this is my my Lord. But then what happened? The stars went away, but out came the moon. Okay. Now he said, okay, this is my Lord, right? And then he said, and then what happened? What happens when the moon comes out? What does it eventually do? It goes away. Now, the third, the moon was replaced by the sun. He said, okay, this is the biggest one. This is my Lord, right? So remember, he was saying the same things that these people used to say. And then he said, what happened? Eventually, the sun also went away. So then Ibrahim alayhi salam said that I don't worship these things that set. Okay? All of these things, they go away. All of these things go away, right? The sun comes out, it goes away. The stars come out, then they go away. And the moon comes out and they go away. So all of these things, he said, I don't worship these things that just here for some time. I don't worship the things that set, and I turn my face away from worshiping anything besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, subhanAllah. This was his way of showing these people what they are doing is wrong by also doing the same action. Okay, he was able to convince them. He told them that even though the things that we see in the sky didn't, he said that these things that we see in the sky don't deserve to be worshipped because they all need to be regulated and taken care of. He tried to explain to them that all of these things are dependent on something or someone else. So how can they be the Lord, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he is, always there, right? First thing, that he is always existing. He's always there, day and night, anything, anytime, any time of day, any time of night, anything. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is always there. He's always aware of what's happening. He knows everything that's happening. We know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the creator, right? What do we say? He is the khaliq. He is the creator of everything. He is the one who's created the sun, the moon, the stars, everything, the world, the people, everything we can imagine, everything, even to the smallest little dot, right? The smallest little ant we can imagine. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created every single one of these things, right? Subhanallah. So he is the one who deserves to be worshipped because he is the one who has created. He is independent of anything. He doesn't um, need anything. He doesn't need anything to survive. He doesn't need anything to exist. We are the ones, all of his creation are the ones who need him to be able to survive. We need him to be able to exist and to live, right? That's the thing that Ibrahim alayhi salam was trying to make them understand. That how can you guys, worship something that is dependent on someone else? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Just like the previous people that he was talking to, how can you worship something that you have created yourselves? Okay, how can you worship a creation? You need to worship the creator. Okay, very good, mashallah. Okay, inshallah. So now, unfortunately, once again, what kind of response did Ibrahim alayhi salam get? What kind of response is it? He said, the people said, how can you tell us to not worship something that our parents used to worship? Meaning, are you saying that they were wrong? So once again, the people were not willing to listen, and they didn't want to be guided by Ibrahim alayhi salam, and they just kind of told him that we don't want to believe this. You can just you can go away. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, was really really trying hard. Everywhere he went, every people he met, he was trying so hard to spread the faith and the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to show the people that they should worship Allah alone. Right? Who is the only one that is worthy of worship? Can you guys tell me? Who is the only one worthy of worship? Allah, right? That is the main message that Ibrahim alayhi salam was trying to spread to the people. Okay. Now, one more try he's giving is now the king of Canaan. Okay, the king of Canaan. Canaan was a city where Ibrahim alayhi salam lived. Okay, so the king of Canaan had heard about Ibrahim alayhi salam. There was a lot of rumors spreading about him. Some people were saying he's a magician, and some people were saying that a lot of rumors and bad things that were being spread around him. So now Nimrod. Okay, Nimrod is the name of the king. He came. He wanted Ibrahim alayhi salam to come and meet him. So now, again, like I said, the main thing that Ibrahim alayhi salam kept in mind throughout all of the challenges in his life, all of the things he experienced, was that he needs to keep his faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala strong, and he needs to spread those to other people, right? Inshallah. So now, the way he's trying to convince Nimrod was also very, very special. Okay, so when he went to Nimrod, the king asked, tell me about Allah. Okay, and Ibrahim alayhi salam said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do all things, and he can give life and death. Okay, what he said to Nimrod. Nimrod said, "Oh, I can do that too. I can give life and death. What the this is a very simple thing that he tried to show, but he said, I can give life and death. So he said he called two of his soldiers to come, and he told one of them that he ordered one of them. Sorry, he ordered two prisoners to come, and he ordered one of them to be killed, and he ordered the other one that he can survive and he can live. Okay. Does that mean the same thing as what Ibrahim alayhi salam was saying? That Allah can give life and death? Does what Nimrod showed Ibrahim alayhi salam, does it mean the same thing? No, right? No, not at all. It's two different things, right? And then the second thing that Ibrahim alayhi salam said, that okay, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings the sun out from the east every day. You bring the sun out from the west. Okay, so he challenged him just very openly. He said that if you think, because Nimrod used to think that he had divine powers, like godlike powers, now he used to think this horrible thing about himself, that he was so strong and he was all powerful. But of course, everybody, that we all know that that's not the truth. That's the main thing that Ibrahim alayhi salam was trying to show him. That, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do anything and everything. And can you show me what you can do? He was challenging him, right? So he challenged him and said that, can you show me the rising from the west? And Nimrod all of a sudden, was confused, because there was no way he was able to do that, right? There was no way at all. So Ibrahim alayhi salam showed Nimrod that he was wrong. But unfortunately, some people are too stubborn to believe things that they see right in front of them, right? So Nimrod, again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, definitely guides who he wants. And Nimrod, unfortunately, he just could not, he did not understand, and he didn't want to understand, even though it was clear in front of him that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the only Lord, and he definitely, is the only one who has all these powers, right? So, inshallah, now, the time came when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a time came when he had commanded Ibrahim alayhi salam to take his wife Hajar alayhi salam and his baby Ismail alayhi salam to a place called, do you guys know the name of the place? What's the name of the place that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told them to go to? Do you guys know? Makkah. Very good, mashallah. Good job. So at that time, Makkah was a desert land. Okay, can you guys imagine what Makkah looks like right now? Right, we can imagine the Kaaba, we can imagine the buildings, we can imagine all of the people. Right, so many people. A lot of things happening. Mashallah, the masjid and everything. You can imagine the life there now. But at that time, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked the Ibrahim alayhi salam to take his family to Makkah, it was a desert land. Okay, and Ismail alayhi salam, his son, was just a little baby. Okay, Ismail alayhi salam was born after many years, so very special baby for Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hajar alayhi salam. So they had to go to this land. Okay, now when they reached this land, Ibrahim alayhi salam, gave Hajar alayhi salam the little bit of water that they had, and some dates. You guys know about the dates, right? The fruit that we eat, right? Very good. The fruit, date fruit. So he gave those to them, and after he got them settled down, he started to walk away from them. Okay, he started to walk away from them. Can you imagine? Look at this this picture of the desert, right? Imagine being here, just three people. Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hajar alayhi salam, and baby Ismail alayhi salam. So Ibrahim alayhi salam started to walk away. Now Hajar alayhi salam, she was concerned, so she kind of stopped him and said, like, where are you going? Why are you leaving us? And he didn't respond. And after a few times, she kept asking, where are you going? And then finally, when she said, "Is this a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?" Ibrahim alayhi salam replied, "Yes." Then Hajar alayhi salam knew, she said, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not neglect us. Right? Subhanallah. It's it's amazing to see, mashallah, her faith also. She basically, Ibrahim alayhi salam was leaving her alone there with Ismail alayhi salam, the little baby, right? So, um, so inshallah, the Ibrahim alayhi salam, if you look at everybody's faith here, right? Ibrahim alayhi salam and Hajar alayhi salam, she had, first of all, she said that, simply she asked, when she said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who commanded this, she knew in her heart that he will take care of them, right? And then not only that, Ibrahim alayhi salam, subhanallah, guys, see, so many things we've talked about so far in his life, and every single one is something that is showing us the strength of his faith, right? What word did we say from the beginning? We said he has two special qualities. The first thing we said, he is Hanif. Hanif was that he is a true believer, right? That strength of faith in his heart. Second thing, what was the second thing? Khalilullah. Khalilullah, friend of Allah, right? The friend of Allah, meaning he gave importance to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands over everything, every single thing. He gave importance to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted. He didn't wait for a second before following through what he had asked him to do. Okay? Very good, mashallah. This is the way we need to be. Okay, do you guys agree? Inshallah, that's where our main goal is, right? Inshallah, to be like these great prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to have this faith in our heart, to have a strong belief in our heart, and to have strength in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that's why, inshallah, we need to, that's one important thing we need to understand from this story, that, mashallah, the faith that that Ibrahim alayhi salam had, that's inshallah what we want to work hard towards having in our hearts as well. Now, when Ibrahim alayhi salam left, when he was leaving, he made a dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to look after his wife and son, and to increase the population in this land, and to increase the love for this land in people's hearts. Do you guys think that dua came true? Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase the population in Makkah and increase the love in our hearts for this land? What do you guys think? Yes, very good, mashallah, exactly. I think, all of us can say that we love the Kaaba, we love Makkah, we all want to go there. If you haven't gone there yet, we're working towards going there, inshallah. And if we have been there, we want to go there again and again and again, right? Subhanallah, very good, mashallah, good job. So this shows us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted the dua of Ibrahim alayhi salam, because he, was very, very dear to him. And, Ibrahim alayhi salam showed how important every single command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to him. Now, inshallah, so now after some time, many, many years later, there came a very challenging time for Ibrahim alayhi salam. Okay, so you guys remember we said that Ismail alayhi salam, before Ibrahim alayhi salam, we said that Ismail alayhi salam came after, his baby came after some time. So like if you want something a lot and then then you get it finally after some time, it's very, very important to you, right? And then not only that, it was his son, first of all. So your own child, your own baby is very, very important to you. So now after Ismail alayhi salam had grown up, there came a time that, I want you guys to imagine this, okay? Just imagine what I'm saying. That there came a time when Ibrahim alayhi salam was getting a dream a dream in which he was sacrificing Ismail alayhi salam. Can you guys imagine? That's we get chills thinking about it, right? So there came a time that he was having this dream, and Ibrahim alayhi salam was like worried, and what was happening. But the dreams that prophets have, they're true. Okay, they're true dreams, and so he understood that this was coming as a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ibrahim alayhi salam, subhanallah, just look at how strong in faith his whole family is, mashallah. That Ibrahim alayhi salam, went to talk to Ismail alayhi salam. He told him that this was, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants him to do. And he said, Ismail alayhi salam said, that I'm ready, I'm going to, follow through, and I want to accept it, and I want to go through with this, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his commands are the most important thing above anything else, right? SubhanAllah. So the same strong faith that Ibrahim alayhi salam had, Ismail alayhi salam, mashallah, also had as well. Now, the time came when Ibrahim alayhi salam was about to sacrifice Ismail alayhi salam. So he was, ready, to, run the knife over, to, sacrifice his son. And, this whole act, just shows you how strong and how much love Ibrahim alayhi salam has for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We need to have the love for Allah in our hearts, and it should be stronger than the love for anything else. Okay, that's how much we should be willing to do anything for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's something. You know how we love our parents so much. You guys know that, right? I mean, I'm sure if I ask you, do you guys love your parents? You'll say yes, right? MashaAllah, very good. So we all love our parents so much, but we have to love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even more than that. You guys know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us so many more times than even our parents do. So, that's the same thing. So, He loves us so much, we have to love Him so much as well. Okay? So, that's what it shows you, that Ibrahim alayhi salam was willing to sacrifice, his beloved son for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so merciful and so loving, and He, Ibrahim, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala loves us so much, and He loved the fact that Ibrahim alayhi salam was willing to do anything for him, that when Ibrahim alayhi salam looked finally to see, what he had done, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had replaced Ismail alayhi salam with a ram that he had sent to exchange with. Okay, so meaning a ram is a goat. Okay, a goat or sheep that was sacrificed instead of Ismail alayhi salam. Subhanallah. So all of these things, all of these things that we see here, I'm sure you guys can all relate. Remember, we were talking about the Hajj in the beginning of the presentation. Remember, in the beginning of class, we talked about Hajj, right? So all of these things, we all know that we sacrifice the goat, right? And at the time of Eid al-Adha, we do a sacrifice, and all of the events, inshallah, when you guys look at it, that took place for Hajar alayhi salam, and when she was alone in the desert, and when the baby Ismail alayhi salam was asking for water, all of that, when Zamzam came, all of these things, they actually are. Remember, we said they all happen in the city of Makkah, and so all of these things are related to the acts that we all do now in Hajj. Okay, Subhanallah. So everything that we are doing now is all related to what the great prophet Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam had done at his time. Subhanallah. But physical acts, these are all physical acts, right, that we're talking about. But main things that we need to understand from the story of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. I hope, inshallah, you guys can, inshallah, understand that the things that very, very important things that we can learn from the story of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam is to have strong faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Strong faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam went through, whatever challenges he faced, whether it was with the people throwing him into the fire, whether it was when he had to leave his family in the desert land, when he had to sacrifice his son. So many things, guys. So many things, that he had to deal with. But he had the strong faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And not only that, he followed Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's commands without question. He, didn't even think about it for a second. He was ready to go, always ready to follow those commands. That's the way we need to be, inshallah. That's the faith of Ibrahim alayhi salam is the reason why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls him the Khalilullah. Being called the friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not something small, guys. It's a huge honor, okay? It's a huge honor. We can't even imagine, when you call something your friend, just like you and me, right? If we call something or someone, we call someone our friend, they're very important for us, right? They're very important for us. Now imagine Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the greatest. He is our Lord. He is, the master of the universe and master of everything. Imagine that He, gave Ibrahim alayhi salam the honor of being His friend, okay? He made him the Khalilullah, subhanAllah. So, all because of the strong faith that he has. And inshallah, I hope, inshallah, all of you are going to work hard to make sure, inshallah, are you going to work hard to make sure you have strong faith like Ibrahim alayhi salam? Yes? Inshallah? Very good, mashallah, good job, inshallah. And then not only that, inshallah, another lesson that we learn is to always respect our parents, okay, guys? Our elders, actually, parents and elders, okay? Whether it's your parents, it's your older brother or sister, it's your grandparents, it's your aunts and uncles, it's your teachers, anything, okay, guys? Respect can't ever be sacrificed, okay? We can't take away the respect. Whether, maybe somebody doesn't understand something, so you're trying to explain something to them, don't lose the respect, okay? Sometimes what happens is somebody misunderstands what you're saying and you're trying to explain. That doesn't mean you have to yell at them, or you don't have to, get mean with them or get aggressive or anything. Respectfully, guys, respectfully. This is something that that is told to us in the Quran, to respect our parents. This is something that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ has told us, that we need to respect our parents and respect others. Okay, guys? Inshallah. So all three of these lessons are very, very important for us to learn. And inshallah, I want all of you to make sure that you guys understand them, you learn them, inshallah, and you apply the life of Ibrahim alayhi salam onto your own life as well. Inshallah. Okay? Inshallah, will you guys do that? Yeah? Inshallah, very good. Good job. Good job. Alhamdulillah. Okay, inshallah, let's do a little bit of a inshallah Q&A, and then inshallah, inshallah, I want to see inshallah how well you guys are paying attention. Okay, inshallah, are you guys ready for the Q&A? Inshallah, very good. Okay, can you guys tell me that? Can you guys tell me the word that I said is used to explain, to describe Ibrahim alayhi salam, the one that means a true believer? A true believer. What word did I use to describe Ibrahim alayhi salam, which means true believer? Hanif. Hanif. Very good. MashaAllah. Good job. And how about the other word? The very special friend of Allah. What word did we use to describe Ibrahim alayhi salam? What word did we use to describe Ibrahim alayhi salam? Khalilullah. Khalilullah. Very good. MashaAllah. Good job. Okay, so Hanif and Khalilullah, those are the two important words that we use to describe Ibrahim alayhi salam. Now, can you guys tell me who was the first person that Ibrahim alayhi salam preached to? Who was the first person that Ibrahim alayhi salam preached to? His father. Very good, mashallah. Good job. Very good. Good. Alhamdulillah. Okay, and okay. Can you tell me? Okay, now let's see. Can you guys? I'll give you some time to write it, inshallah. Oh, what was the dua that Ibrahim alayhi salam made when he was being thrown into the fire? What was the dua that he made? Very, very important dua, guys. Make sure if you don't know it, you can write a little bit of it. Maybe you remember a little bit of it, okay? So if you don't know it, inshallah, I want all of you to work on memorizing it, okay? Inshallah. Inshallah. Very good, mashallah. I'm so glad to see all of you guys answering, and you're all answering correct, mashallah. Great job. I'm so glad you all are paying attention. Very good. Okay, the dua is Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Maybe you guys have heard a shortened version of it, Hasbunallah, but we want to follow, let's try to follow exactly what Ibrahim alayhi salam has said. Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Very good, mashallah. Great job, guys. I'm so proud. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, now, can you guys tell me, what was the name of the king that Ibrahim alayhi salam tried to talk to convince? What was the name of the king? Nimrod. Very good. Very good, mashallah. Good job. And can you tell me what was the name of the desert land where Ibrahim alayhi salam was commanded to take his family? What was the name of the desert land that Ibrahim alayhi salam was commanded? Very good, mashallah. Mashallah. Very good, mashallah. Very good, mashallah. Great job, everybody. Very good. The land was Makkah, right? Makkah. Very good, mashallah. And last question, guys. Are you ready? Last question. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replace Ismail alayhi salam with when Ibrahim alayhi salam was sacrificing him? What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala send to replace? The ram or the sheep. Very good. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. Very good. MashaAllah. I'm so proud of you guys. I'm very happy to see that you guys are paying attention and that you're learning. Guys, I know, MashaAllah, the stories are very, very interesting to learn from. But the lessons that we learn from the story, that's what you guys have to keep in mind, okay? Inshallah, definitely you should remember the stories too, but the lessons are the things that we keep, that the reason why that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us about the stories of the prophets. Okay? These lessons are important for us because the prophets of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala were the best of the human beings. So, the best of the human beings, and they they want us to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to learn from them and to apply those lessons to our lives, inshallah. So, inshallah, I hope you guys are all paying attention to the lessons that we're learning, and for all of the important things that we're learning that we can apply to our lives. The amazing thing about the stories of the prophets is that everything you learn in them, all of that you can apply to your own life. Okay, all of that you can apply to your own life. So that's an amazing thing that Allah Subhanahu wa Taala has made it easy for us. Of course, there's a lot of events which make it very interesting for us to learn. But don't forget the main lessons that we talk about. Inshallah, I hope you guys have been remembering and maybe even making notes about the lessons we learned from the previous stories, inshallah, and this story as well. And let's, inshallah, try in Ramadan. Remember, we said Ramadan is a wonderful time to start good habits and to start doing good things. Inshallah, let's try to work hard to, try applying these lessons to our own lives, starting from this beautiful month of Ramadan, and let's try to work hard to keep it going. We only have, it's very, very sad, we just have a little over, 10 days left, and inshallah, let's try to make these the best 10 days as possible, inshallah. Okay, mashallah, jazakallah khair for everyone who's participating, mashallah, those of you who are saying jazakallah Jazakallah khair to all of you for listening and for paying attention and for answering all the questions. Inshallah, I'm looking forward to seeing you all again next week, inshallah, and where we learn about a new prophet and we can learn about new lessons that we can apply to our lives. Jazakallah khair, everyone. Inshallah, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.